All right, we are live.
Nice.
Let me stop this. Let me switch over here and let's get to it.
Word.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life, the rootinest, tootinest podcast this side of the internet.
Oh my God,
buddy. This is episode number 6, and this week we're going to be discussing Best Buy's heinous murdering of Gamers Club Unlocked. We're going to get some... Yes, absolutely. We're going to get some impressions of State of Decay 2 going on. We're going to talk about that Battlefield 5 reveal from earlier today. Talk a little Deadpool 2, maybe. All kinds of stuff. We'll get to it, but thanks. First and foremost, thanks for everyone for tuning in this week. We really appreciate it. My name is Josh Faulkner. We got Zach Anderson over there who's been having a bit of trouble tonight.
I somehow made it. Somehow, some way, I am here, and man, I am thankful that I have 3 very understanding co-hosts that were willing to put up with these technological shenanigans. But hey, I'm here. We're doing it.
Awesome. Glad you're here, man. Thanks for being here. We got Shannon Moore over there too. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Oh,
that was nice.
He mad. He had an anger. He mad.
That was very teen angst of you.
Is this new subtle Shannon when he covers the guns?
Yeah, I had to find an old like Blink 182 shirt that I could wear and like just to hide my. I didn't, I just 5 episodes with the guns out. They need a break. So
Hey,
This is mild Shannon Cannon.
yeah, sedated, if you will.
Shannon the hand cannon.
Yeah. Wait until I talk later about my jeans ripping. Oh man, I'm gonna rip this shirt clean off. Like, it's just the Hulk out. Like,
He brought his throwaway shirt for the podcast, you guys.
Turning off webcam now.
Man.
So Shannon, the shirt, the Blink 182 shirt, which is take off your pants and jacket, by the way. I'm going to see them in Vegas in like 3 weeks. They're doing I think it's hilarious that Blink 182 has a what are that called? Where they stay and play for a long time.
Residency?
Residency. Thank you. They've got they have a residency at the Palms over the summer.
What?
They're gonna bring aliens.
They play like 4 days a week.
That's insane.
I'm like, yeah, I'm totally gonna go see that. That seems rad.
They're all back like together. Like I thought they hated.
No, I think it's still Alkaline Trio, dude, with marketing.
Oh, okay. Okay, no. All right then.
You got me all excited. My voice raised octaves. I was like, why am I talking like this?
You're like, I'm 19 again.
Tom's gonna fly in on his rocket ship. Anyways, we got Elena Grimm over there too. Figured we would introduce her as well. Hi, everyone.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here, y'all. You can hear me. I apologize if I'm talking real fast today. I had a 5 p.m. cup of coffee, and I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog in the worst way.
Yeah.
Wow. Why would you do that to yourself?
Oh, dude, I am the fattest masochist. I wanted to be awake for the podcast, but now I can just like see everything and hear all the noises. It just so much is happening. I apologize.
I can see the noise and hear the colors.
My earballs.
I can hear my hair growing on my scalp.
All right.
Mushrooms. Oh, sorry. What were we talking about?
Let's go ahead and get some housekeeping going before we get started, shall we?
Sure.
Enough of the shenanigans, guys. Dad's got to turn this ship right side. Okay, all right. Anyways.
All right. Can we get in and out?
What?
Can we get in and out?
Oh,
Elena's
McDonald's. Can we get Hardee's? Can we get Hardee's?
Hardy. There you go. Hey, you knew about Hardee's.
Midwest. I swear to God, I promise.
Yeah.
Some Steak Shack or
Steak and Shake, you mean?
Steak Shake, yeah.
Steak and Shake.
Steak Shack. I want to go to the Steak Shack, y'all.
Oh my God, dude! They got one of those coming to the Bay Area somewhere, and I need to check this out because I've never eaten at one of those places.
Hey, Shannon, they're putting a Dunkin' Donuts in San Carlos, bro.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
dude!
Remember where Baja Fresh was?
Yes,
Right
I do. Oh, nice.
Right now, the sign is still up, so it says Baja Dunkin' Donuts, which makes me go like, I really want to see what that would be. But, yeah,
You guys are excited about a Dunkin' Donuts?
they don't exist here. Literally,
Really?
do not.
They're really uncommon.
They suck. Their donuts are like they come in frozen. Like
We
they're
get to
not
decide
good.
that.
Oh well, go right ahead because I'm telling you, their donuts are. I guess it's good if you want like coffee or something. I'm not a coffee drinker, but
Yeah, Josh, the people here collectively lost their damn mind when Krispy Kreme moved in to the
Really?
area, and like it took about 2 years for everyone to go like, oh wait, Krispy Kremes are real bad. Like, oh yeah, I don't like those anymore.
We all have diabetes. Why?
Yeah, they actually closed down the Krispy Kreme near here, so they weren't doing so hot. But
y'all are high maintenance. Just eat the donut. Just eat the donut.
That's what we're about here in Ohio is good donuts and meth heads. So
and chili.
Yeah,
I'll have my donut with a side of meth, please.
Yes, this is a hypodermic needle just sticking out of the top of it.
Yeah, save me from going to the hospital later. I'll just do it myself when I overdose. Just
that's what they do at bars. That's what they do at bars here in Ohio.
The good old Columbus cocktail.
That's what they do at bars here in Ohio. Instead of putting the little like tiki umbrella in your drink, they just stick a hypodermic needle in there.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Anyways, let's move on. Let's keep this show afloat here. Housekeeping for the week. Just in case we haven't launched you already, you can follow us on Twitter at @thatpixellife. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/thatpixellife if you want to help support the show and allow us to continue to produce episodes each week. A big shout out to Stohan Jovic and the EXP cast. They subscribed to the Patreon this week and they're helping us out. So he was actually cool with us giving them a shout out. So thank you, Stohan. And if you guys have not listened to the EXP cast, check that out on everywhere you can get podcasts. I mean, we're there. EXP cast is probably there too. So check them out. They're good people. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, blah, 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 all that stuff. We did submit the show to Spotify. It's under review. So as soon as that is up and running, we'll let you guys know on Twitter. We'll tweet that out. Make sure you guys...
The show will be more entertaining than that new Arctic Monkeys album.
Oh, yeah, that shit was awful. Yeah, no, I agree. I
later, but good.
I couldn't even get through a whole listen of that one. But anyways, if you can leave us some iTunes reviews, that would be great too. That helps us kind of climb the ladder on iTunes there a bit and get more eyeballs on us. So if you got a couple minutes and don't mind doing that for us, it'd be awesome. That survey is still floating out there as well that we mentioned last week. So if you guys don't mind, we tweeted the link out a couple times, and you can go to thatpixellife.com and get that link for that as well. It's just a survey asking some questions, trying to get some feedback. We've been already using a lot of that data to improve the show, and some of the things that some of the feedback we got, we were already aware of and working on fixing, and some of it we needed to know, and we're already working on steering that in the right direction as well. So thank you for everyone who took that, and if you have not yet taken that survey, we really appreciate it. It helps us improve the show. Otherwise, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to some industry buzz, and let's talk about some video games, because we haven't mentioned a video game yet. We've been talking a lot. So
we'll get there. We'll
get there. So first and foremost, Best Buy officially canceled Gamers Club Unlocked this week, and they did it without any notice whatsoever. So there was no press release. There was no mention of it. I mean, they just stripped the website clean of everything Gamers Club Unlocked related. And it's no longer there, so you can't resubscribe. You can't subscribe if you're a new subscriber or anything like that. You do still get the benefits if your subscription hasn't ran out yet, but once it's gone, it's gone. You can't resubscribe. And they have made it a lot more difficult to actually use those benefits. They're no longer reflecting the price of the discount on the games when you look at them in the store anymore online. They're only showing up in the cart, and sometimes it's glitchy, and it's not a good situation now. Zach, since you are our kind of business marketing guy here, I'm going to throw this at you. Obviously, this was a sort of a program to get asses in the door, right? I mean, they weren't making any money off this. But
very little, probably.
Yeah. Aside from that, like, what do you think happened here?
I think what happened here is my guess, if you broke down all the numbers, is essentially people stopped going to Best Buy to also now buy other physical media. I think this was a gateway drug for Best Buy customers to come in and also buy a CD while they're there, also buy some Blu-rays while they're there, also buy other forms of media other than games themselves. Maybe also pick up a game, but their margin. I think the discount they were giving you was essentially their margin. So I bet they were making 5% per game purchase, which, I mean, that doesn't cover keeping your lights on if you're Best Buy. And I'm assuming that you go down the actuarial table and you just see that we're at a negative point. So why would I keep offering people discounts percentage wise, most of them are probably still going to buy something anyway, even at full price, and they're no longer buying the other things that would supplement this program. That would be my educated guess of what happened here. I think it makes sense because, yeah, I don't buy physical media anymore. I literally couldn't tell you the last CD I bought.
Yeah,
I do buy 4K Blu-rays because I think the compression on streaming looks like crap. But as soon as that changes, then I'm out on that. I don't want stuff. I don't want discs anymore. You know, I think it's a shame though, because a lot of people use this program and it was very advantageous for a lot of people, especially in like Elena's demographic, where you don't have as much disposable income. You're going to be very much more picking and choosing your purchases and then using those said purchases to fund other purchases.
Papa preach. Papa preach. That's so true.
You know, and if anything, I think this is going to drive way more people to digital than digital only versus, I mean, you were talking today, Josh, yourself, that you were like, why would I even mess with Best Buy when I could just download Dark Souls and be done with it?
Yeah.
Now, you know, like to don't support Best Buy anymore, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm actually a really big fan of this program. I've used it ever since they started it. I buy all my games at Best Buy. And it's an amazing deal. It really is.
Exactly.
And I even have Amazon Prime, and I don't fuck with Amazon Prime. Like
not for video games, right?
Yeah, no, not for video games. I get everything at Best Buy. I mean, it's on my way home. It's convenient, and I get a discount. And you know, when you go to Best Buy, they don't dick with you. They don't try to sell you shit you don't want. They don't lunge at you. They don't try to sell you credit cards. Like it's great. Like I go in there.
There's a specialized area for you to go to pick up your item, and then you can just go home. They even have specific parking for you. I've picked up a couple of games through this, and there's a section out front where I can park my car, and it's so convenient because the rest of the area is in a parking structure, and they have a designated area for me to park my car, go inside, give them my ID, get my game, go home. It's so easy and fast and streamlined, and I'm really bummed. And my dad is also very, very pissed off. He just, Amazon's not where it should be in regards to this, but they're not gonna. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate.
And because of that, I mean, I've always been a fan of Best Buy. I've always liked that store a lot, and I spend a lot of money at Best Buy, even on non-video games. You know, I buy a lot of stuff there. I buy my appliances there. I mean, I buy computer upgrades through there. I just bought an iPad there recently, all kinds of stuff. So. And yeah, when I would go pick up games, I would get impulse buys all the time. I'd pick up a Blu-ray for my son when I was there, or I mean, the past weekend I picked up a game and I picked up Black Panther on 4K Blu-ray while I was there, you know, on a whim, you know. So I mean, it did get me in the door and it did get me buying other things. But I think the majority of people who subscribe to that probably were just buying games and nothing else.
Completely agree.
They probably have, you know, this thing's been going for 4 or 5 years. They probably have 4 or 5 years of data saying that it's not going in the direction that they were hoping it was going into, and they got rid of it. My problem, and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to boycott Best Buy or anything like that. I'm sure, like, if this thing was too good to be true as it was, and I'm surprised it ran as long as it did. But my problem here is that the way they communicated this whole thing, or their lack of communication, like they didn't really tell anybody. It was just gone. And the only way we found out was through some internet sleuthing, through like the cheap ass gamer guys and Wario64 on Twitter. Yeah. That's how I found out about it. And
a screenshot of the email is how we found out.
Yeah, and it wasn't even an email. Like after all this happened, like people started going to Best Buy support, and there was like, "Hey guys, what's going on with this?" And some support rep made a statement about it. It wasn't even an official like corporate statement or anything. Like they still haven't made a statement about it.
But they removed it from their site. I can't access it. That's pretty underhanded in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just gone. And now, like when you want to use the discount, if you're still subscribed to it, like you don't get the difference until you look at the game in your cart. You have to add it to your cart and then go to your cart and look in order to get the discount. And sometimes it bugs out. And I know for a while it was only giving people 10% instead of 20%, and then they fixed it, and it's just a huge mess. So people are in an uproar more of how they communicated it more than they are that they got rid of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It kind of sounds to me like it's coming in, or it's leaving the same way it came in, because nobody ever knew how to bring that up when you were at the store. They never knew how to. I mean, like, maybe that's just it. Is like, you know, because the people that were selling the product didn't know enough about it. You know, they just decided to scrub the whole plan together. I mean, I mean, Zach, you got it for me for my birthday a couple years ago, and it was awesome. I used the hell out of it until I moved, and then now I'm not even remotely close to any type of Best Buy, and you know, I mean, it's just, it was a good service. I liked it, but every time I went into my Best Buy that was closest to me, nobody knew anything about it. You know, none of the people that were working there knew how to ring it up. They knew how to get me my discount, knew how to get me any of the bonuses that came along with it. So, I mean,
really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty rare that I went in there and found somebody that knew what I was asking for, or knew how to ring it up, or knew how to get me what I wanted. So,
not only that, but if you would renew online, like, it wouldn't even activate properly. And like, you would have to call customer service and crap to get it fixed. That happened to me when I renewed it.
I had one time where I had to literally take the printout of the online renewal to the store and have them do it in the store.
Yeah, and I remember that they would give you welcome coupons too, and the welcome coupons wouldn't work because one of them was like for like 50% off on like a strategy guide or something. And I bought Zelda. The Majora's Mask remake for 3DS, and I used that because I used to like to buy the Zelda strategy guides just for fun. And because I have all the ones from like the older games from when I was a kid, and I just kind of added them to the collection. And I used that 50% off coupon, and it would not ring up. They thought I had a fake coupon, and it was just a mess. So. It's crazy. Like, it seemed like it was kind of half-assed anyways. And I know for a fact, like, I can just feel it. I don't know for a fact, I shouldn't say that, but I can feel it that if you still have this subscription running before it runs out, they're going to give you trouble with this thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's going to be times where it won't ring up right, or the employees don't know anything about it and it's gone. So if you mention it, there's not like they have anything to go off of, and they're going to think you're full of shit. Like, I just feel like the only way that you're going to make this work for that, because mine doesn't expire until next February. So the only way that they're going to make this work flawlessly for me, I feel, is if I order it online, just pick it up in store. That way I ain't got to deal with all that. And that's even if that works right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the people that honestly just renewed their subscription like a week ago, or, you know, a couple weeks ago. Like, they just renewed and now they're being told that this program is going to get canceled. It's just a slow burn. Like, you're not going to, I doubt they'll give you your money back because the service is still being offered. Granted, it's in such disarray, but you know, it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds over the next couple months.
And are they really going to own up to it throughout? You know, what if you just subscribed to this like a month ago?
That's what I was thinking. What about that one schmuck who was like, you know what, they're gonna stick around. I trust him now. I trust Best Buy. And then they just giving him your hard-earned money and being told that it's canceled. I would be so mad.
Yeah, are they really going to hold out that long? Like, is it the whole 2 years? If you just subscribe to it, are they really going to let you keep that? Like, I find it hard to believe.
Just give him a refund. Just give that schmuck a refund. Yeah, totally. Poor man.
And or at least prorate it. Like, give him a refund for like prorating or something. You know, for the length of what's left. You know, give them $5 or something. I don't know, but we don't really have a substitute program for this either, other than Amazon. But Amazon's like is really sketchy too. They've already scaled back on that one. Now it's only pre-orders, and Amazon has a problem with some games that you can't even pre-order. Like, right now, you can't pre-order Detroit Become Human.
Really?
Yeah. And
you can't pre-order it.
The thing that pisses me off about Amazon too is, like, you pay for the Amazon Prime and you pay for the free 2-day shipping, and you expect that game to come out on release day. You expect it to be at your door, and a lot of times that game is not there on the release day. It's there the day after, and it's a little frustrating when you go to work expecting to come home and relax and play that brand new video game and you get shafted.
Yeah, that's happened to me several times.
Yeah.
That's why I just stopped using it. I just never bought games off of it. And honestly, when this Best Buy thing runs out, I'm not probably going to use it still. I'm just gonna go digital. Like what other reason do I have to buy physical games now other than to trade them in? And I don't even do that often anymore.
Mhm.
That's a hot button topic, my friend. That is definitely an argument to be had with the internet.
I know GameStop is sitting over there and they're just like, come on back. Come on. Just come back to me. Just come into these arms.
I was thinking too about Fries. I was like, Fries, where you at? That's our like, Josh, do you know about Fries on Okay, yeah. I was thinking like y'all should offer some stuff. Give me some discounts. Because their price matching is already really great. And I go to Fries a lot for their price matching, just because it's closer than Best Buy.
Well, what about Walmart? Like, I feel like Walmart could afford to do something like that, you know, to draw people in. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, what other reason do you have to not go digital now? And I'm kind of with Zach now. Like, I don't even collect. I used to be a big retro game guy, and I don't even do that anymore. I sold off a lot of my stuff because I just don't want the shit laying around my house anymore. And the digital stuff is just easier. Yeah, I'm paying more for it, but now I'm probably not going to be paying any more for it. So I feel like that's the way to go.
I don't know. I still like the physical copy. I hate I tried going the digital route, and then I ended up getting No Man's Sky like day one, and like I went the digital route with that, and I hated myself for a good solid month. Like every time I just turned on my PlayStation and saw No Man's Sky on my desktop, I just wanted to slam my head into a wall.
Oh, shoot.
I wish I could have taken that game back. You know, it's like I like that knowledge that I can take the game back if it's a pile of dookie. You know,
but I think that's just like a relic from a different era now, though.
But I am a relic from a different era, and I want to keep that.
Yes. That's awesome.
Are, dude. We absolutely are. Like it's
like the dopest response. That's so true. Like you guys deserve to do it however the hell you want to do it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the great thing about the market right now is you have the freedom to make that choice. 5 years from now, we're not going to have a choice. I bet on it. We're not going to have that choice. Maybe not 5 years. Anyway.
Well, I mean, all physical media is trending out, not just games. Everything.
Music, everything. Books.
Like, physical copies are becoming niche items. You know,
Agreed.
like it's if you want to collect it, you'll buy a physical copy. And outside of, you know, people like, well, Josh, like people don't collect, you know, video games as I'm looking behind you and see systems and systems and systems and systems.
There's some left back there. I couldn't let go of all of it. But yeah,
I think it's just the way it's all media, not just video games. I think that it's trending out to digital, and I for one love it. Like I'm sorry, I know I get burned sometimes if I buy a bad game and I can't get that $40 back, but it's worth the $40 to me to not have the stuff in my house. Like I can delete the icon, Shannon. You know what I mean?
And also for my severely agoraphobic ass, I like the idea of being able to buy a game on day one from the comfort of my bed while I'm eating pizza. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of people are like, well, what happens to the online store? You know, if they kill it, I can't access that digital game anymore. Well, with today's games, you can't anyways. That disc is more just as the key. You know, I mean, you have to download so much shit in order to play it anyways that you're not going to play that game anyways.
I hate that excuse, though. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Like, if you're sitting there talking about, like, well, I want to maybe one day, 20 years from now, I want to throw in this copy of original Xbox Halo 2 and play it and want to get a game going. Like, no, you don't. Stop that. Like, and you know what? If you
quit lying and pretend. Yeah, don't pretend.
Yeah. And if you do, go get help, because that's not a good help thing. Like, you're doing bad things with your life if that's the
send your hate to @Zackle at Twitter.
Just do what Josh does and buy the 23 mastering of it and play it on the new console.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you do things. Yeah. You know what? When we're in 2034, I'll fucking buy Dark Souls again, and I'm not going to be ashamed of it. Okay?
And you're going to be proud about it. You're going to be like, I've spent 1,743 hours on this game in the course of 20 years, and I'm damn proud of it.
I'll be cursing to the wind that my copy of Brute Force won't find me someone to play with in the matchmaking.
Yeah, I get into that matchmaking anyway, so you're good. Today is a funny story. They actually dropped Dark Souls Remastered on PC early, so you can buy it on Steam right now. And I was really tempted to get it on Steam.
Play with that Steam Link, friend.
Well, it was $20. It's $20 off if you own the original. So, but
I bet. I
was tempted, but I didn't do it. All right, moving on. Here's an interesting story I saw this week. Nintendo is starting to sell dockless Switches in Japan on their website. So it's the conversion's about $250 American from what I've seen here. And you get a Switch, you get 2 Joy-Cons, and you get the little Joy-Con grips, and that's it. So there's no dock, no Joy-Con grip controller attachment, no AC adapter, no HDMI cable, nothing like that. And you actually get to customize the colors of the Joy-Cons. You can choose which ones you want. Like you can choose what color left you want, what color right you want. There's a lot of colors you can choose from. It's pretty cool. They're saying this is meant for current Switch owners who want to buy another handheld, but just want to swap them in the dock or something like that if you have kids or something like that. Do you guys see this working in America? Do you think this will happen here? And do you think this is something that'll work here, or is this kind of not going to sell too many units?
I think it's frustrating that there's no charger, there's no wall charger, there's no charger at all. And I get that you're trying to sell it to current Switch owners, but like that accessibility factor is so important, and it's so obviously why they're doing this, that to not have a charger available. Like, let's say, for example, I didn't own a Switch. I do own a Switch, but let's say I didn't, and I wanted to buy this. I would have to pay, I looked it up, the Best Buy wall charger is $26.99. I would have to spend an additional $26.99 on top of that. So I think if they ever bring it to the States, they need to alter what's in their package a little bit. I'm content. I like this idea. I like the price. It's like roughly $45. Hopefully when it comes to the States, if it does, will be like $50 less. And I think it's appealing. I just think it needs to be just a little fine tweaked with like some add-ins and some other stuff.
Well, they already removed the chargers in the 3DSs and the 2DSs. You don't get a charger with those in America.
That's not okay. Like, I get that you probably have like 16 chargers at this point, but you should offer that. That should be offered. And especially for this time around, for the iteration for the Switch, like I should be able to have that included. It's a charger just included.
The issue I have with the 3DS ones is it's not a standard USB connection.
Yeah, it's proprietary.
Yeah, where this is a USB-C, and also USB-C charged phones are way more popular in Japan than they are in America. So that makes more sense to me.
Okay.
It's way more of a standard connection that's being used. I think it's a weird way to go cheap to not throw a freaking AC adapter in there, but I guess I can wrap my head around that. I don't know. The thing, I don't think they'll ever bring it to the States though, because I don't really think there's a market for it. Families here have multiple TVs. Kids have their own room with the TV.
But what about I just imagine like 2 kids fighting over the Switch. You know what I mean? Like just buy, like, Mom, I want another Switch. Billy's always stealing my Switch. Like,
then
okay,
deal
I'll buy
with
you another.
$300. Like, just
that's when you pop the Joy-Con off and just cut it in half. Like, there you go. You get one, you get the other. I can't play anything. Who gives a shit?
Parenting 101. Hell yeah.
No one can play anything now. You happy? You still want to complain?
Yeah.
Take everything from me. I hope you're happy.
I mean, I could see this working in America if someone just wanted the handheld. Like, for me personally, I don't really dock my Switch. I play it 95% of the time in handheld mode. Mm-hmm. So I would be okay with this. And I have USB-C chargers already. My wife's got a Samsung Galaxy phone that uses USB-C, and we have a couple chargers laying around. So if someone in my position would buy this, I mean, if I'm going to go out and buy a Switch, I'm just going to go ahead and get it with the dock anyways. But I mean, there's someone like me that would probably want to save $50 and go with this. I'm actually surprised they haven't done this yet. That's the big thing for me. And the customizable controller thing is pretty rad because they have green ones and that we can't buy here in the States, and I really want those.
You can get the green one. Yeah, you can get one green one.
No, you can get anyway. 2 green ones on this one. Yeah, I want 2 green ones. I want one.
He has 2 green ones. I want 2 green ones. Why does he have 2 green ones and I only have 1 green one?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, Billy, just go play Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'm a chump for the Switch. Like I got like 3 chargers because I have one for one that came with a docking station, one by my bed, and one for on the go in case I go out.
That's
I'm
cool.
too lazy to take one out of the one out of the bedroom. You know, I got 2 Pro controllers. I have like 4 Joy-Cons. Like I suck sometimes when I think I've lost all you know rights to slam Nintendo for all their peripherals because of course I buy them all.
Like, lost all self-control, I think.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we've had a lot of game nights at the house where a lot of people have wanted to play Mario Kart, so I just kind of bit the bullet on those. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you're gonna. I mean, people who buy the Switch are probably going to have more than one charger, probably going to have more than one peripheral set for the Switch. So why not just cut out all the extra stuff that you're just going to throw into that drawer of useless crap you don't use anyway? You know, just give them what they want. So I could see it's kind of like that. The PlayStation Pro and the Xbox One X. It's kind of like I feel it's kind of a niche market. You know, there are people that are going to buy it. It's just not going to be in high demand.
Do you guys think it's going to be? You know, is it going to make it past Japan? Do you think it's going to make it to the States?
I think it will. I think it will.
Maybe. Zach shaking his head no. I'm surprised.
I think if it does, it'll be the version that it'll be the version they go to right before they release Switch 2. Something like that. I don't see that ever being an option while this Switch is out there as it stands right now. The version I think honestly that would work better for America would be the $150 home only version that doesn't have a screen that's removable. That's just a box that attaches to a TV with controllers.
It just close off the slot on the dock and just put the guts in there, and there you go.
Yeah.
So it's not a Switch anymore. Like it's a Wii.
and you lop $100 off the cost because you don't need the screen or any of that tech, and just call it. And I think that would.
Why don't you just give them the screen with the dock? I mean, it's still the same thing. It has the potential for portability, but you would still have to invest in the Joy-Cons.
No, the point of my version is cheapness. You know, just something that runs the software and has Joy-Cons. That's all I'm talking about. But
I want to buy a PlayStation 4 too. Because that's all it is, man. It's just another console. It's not even the Switch anymore if it's that, you know?
Yeah, it kind of loses its appeal, but I could see someone might want that. But
I mean, it's an option for sure. I mean, I get why they would consider it. It's just it loses its soul, man. It's not a Switch anymore.
Well, a 2DS loses its soul without the 3D, but people still made those. But at the same time, no one uses the 3D anyways on the 3DS.
Nobody can anymore. It's ridiculous.
Whoever uses 3D on that thing. So.
Yeah, totally.
My poor eyeballs.
Yeah, melting your head.
Real.
All right, let's move on. Last thing we wanted to touch on is the Battlefield 5 reveal that they just dropped today. So just some quick stats on this one. This game drops October 19th, very close to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They're going back to World War II. They have stated that there are no loot boxes, but they will have microtransactions, but apparently it's all cosmetic, if that. And there's nothing like that. Like the Battlefield situation. It looks like they learned from their mistakes.
They got way out in front of that one. They're like, none of that. None of it at all.
They're not even going to have a season pass. Like all the new maps and modes will be completely free. They're going to have a similar campaign to Battlefield 1, which will be those war stories. And it's going to focus on real life heroes of World War II. There's going to be a co-op mode called Combined Arms. There's going to be limited ammo. So I guess conserving ammo is going to be a bigger thing. And there's going to be no health regen like on Black Ops 4 as well. So you have to use health packs and all that stuff. There's no auto regen. So they showed a trailer. The trailer looked extremely over the top and staged. Like it didn't look like it was real gameplay to me. I mean, even though they played it out like there was gameplay, but it was very scripted. And but from the gameplay I saw, it looked like Battlefield, just prettier. So did you guys watch this at all? What do you think?
Yeah, I watched it, and it was crazy, and it kind of was confusing too because I could have sworn I saw the lady that you meet up with at the end, I could have sworn I saw her in the beginning get blasted, like run in through that door. And I was just like, what's going on? Like, why did she come back? So it kind of makes sense now that there's, different storyline arcs, which, probably.
Well, and she had like some weird mech arm.
She had a claw. She had a claw because she lost her arm.
Well, but it didn't look like a World War II era.
Right, prosthetic. It didn't look. Yeah.
But
nor did any of the outfits.
Yeah, and it also looked really like I had a hard time picking out who the enemies were and who your teammates were. Like in that battle, in that one skirmish, like the dude hit the ground and was just spraying bullets and like was getting points for like murdering people on the other team, and I didn't even see who he was shooting at. Like I didn't see any of those targets.
They were very conveniently running at him at the perfect time too.
Yeah,
this thing was absolutely staged, but I mean most demos are, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it looked very colorful. That was what I was surprised about. Like this is not gritty World War II. Like it was very colorful looking.
Well, and especially compared to Battlefield 1, which was so like some of those trench levels and stuff. I mean, that was just brown on top of brown on top of red. It was nice to see. Like, yeah, I agree with you. It was nice to see a very big kind of refresh of color.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, are you guys Battlefield fans at all? Is this going to do it for you, or is this I don't care situation, or what's going on?
I'm in for sure. I mean, I loved Battlefield 1. I thought the single player campaign and how they handled it was really cool in 1, and so I'm intrigued to see what they're doing to the progression from World War I to World War II, kind of going back to what we all know as traditional Battlefield. So that I'll be interested to see how they kind of grow and took the lessons from 3 and 4 and 1 and roll them back in. But I don't know, watching that thing, it made me nervous that they're going to try to play with World War II in a sense to make it like, oh, it's World War II, but it's like a reimagining of World War II, So I don't know.
But what's wrong with that? I mean, like
that's true.
I mean that's where I'm going with it. I mean, we've done World War II so many times. We know the results of those outcomes. Like, why not have a little bit of fun with it? Why not go in a little fanciful way and just kind of play in a toy box that gives you a refreshing or maybe different story? Breathe life into it, because I mean, how many times are we going to see a World War II game? How many times are we going to see the same old story pan out? I for one am excited for that, but I'm also nervous because, like I was saying earlier, like part of me is there to enjoy the story, part of me is there to enjoy the aesthetics, but I also want to enjoy shooting things. I mean, that's the reason why you get those games, and with that not being able to clearly pick out who my targets were, where I was supposed to be going, like as far as shooting, it kind of concerns me a little bit. And that would be the only thing that gives me apprehension. I'm way more interested in this than I am the new Call of Duty game. So, I mean, it's nice to have something on my radar that is going to be a pew pew shoot shoot run run.
Oh man, I'm still waiting for my perfect pew pew, man. Like Overwatch is kind of still doing it for me right now, but I feel the same way about this game as I do about Black Ops. Like I was excited to watch the trailer, but as soon as I saw that chick with the hand, I was like, okay, this isn't realistic World War II, because what? Like I was confused right off the bat. I was impressed, but I was confused. And then the game progressed, and at the end she's there again, and I'm like, you got shot. You got shot through a wall. Like, why are you here? Like,
bitch, you did.
Bitch, you did. Like, why are you here?
Got shot in the gut.
You got shot through a wall. You got shot into a wall. Like, come on, that's not. What's up with that no health regen? Like, how'd you get here? But no, I'm not. It's an aesthetically pleasing trailer, but I'm not. I don't know, man. What's up, Zach?
I was going to say they had the world's best med packs that you don't even know. It's just all the stim packs in the world.
Those are like colostomy bags. They're just like under your clothes.
Yeah, I can go on the go.
Yeah. But I was totally expecting like a futuristic thing to kick in, like a Terminator John Connor, like portal opens up and some guy walks, so come with me if you want to live, kind of thing. You know,
it was getting there at some point. So
when I saw when I saw the hand, honestly, I was expecting like World War II steampunk mechs at some point.
Yeah, that was the vibe that I saw in the community before they dropped this whole reveal. People thought they were going like some kind of like weird steampunk kind of look, and I would have actually been cool with that. So
yeah,
I was kind of on board. I'm like, all right, let's do this, you know?
So it seems like y'all are all on board with like the idea of it being World War II, just a little different, because I can completely, Shannon said it, he hit the nail on the head. Like, how many times have I heard the same story? I can read a history book and know what happened in World War II. I don't, you know what I mean? Like we've been through it so many times as gamers, and we've just heard the story. So I like the idea of there being a little bit of a twist, but it does kind of have, like, in regards to storytelling, a little bit of a God of War kind of thing, because they took on Norse mythology, but they kind of did their own thing with it. So maybe not as intensely, but I do think it'll be kind of like that, where they just take liberties.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I mean, they said that the campaign, or I say in air quotes, campaign, that they're going to focus on real life heroes and real life stories of World War II. So it's like what you're showing me and what you're telling me don't seem to match.
Yeah, and I don't want any historical figures to be like blatantly disrespected or their story told inaccurately. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have enough of that nowadays. So if you're gonna do it right, and if you're gonna go fanciful and do all that shit, that's fine as well. But pick a side, like, and do it right, please.
Gotcha.
Rant's over, promise.
But it's also going to be another one of those games where, like, you're going to need a healer, because, you know, you're going to have in multiplayer, you're going to need, you know, everybody to have a certain class or a certain ability, and then nobody's going to want to be the healer. Everybody's just going to want to shoot stuff. So then you're going to have like that one core group of people that are just going to be healers all the time, and they're going to be upset.
Well, but now Elena has me wanting like a grossly inaccurate World War II game.
Mecha Hitler needs to come back.
No, like
like a kid who's writing a World War II book report but didn't read any of the material.
That
would be awesome.
And then at the end, it's a dramatic reveal, and he's like, "The end," and it's him in front of his class, just like reciting the story.
Yeah, like that's the twist.
Oh, like, can we TM this right now? TM.
I like it.
You know, Rommel's actually a desert fox. You know, like he's like a furry, you know, or something. Like, it'd be great.
And all of a sudden, like Buzz Lightyear comes in and like all this like weird random shit.
Yeah. Ariana Grande's dancing on the side, and he's just like, I'm sorry.
Damn.
It's like someone's MySpace page from 2005. It's just all a bunch of random. Like,
it's their World War II fanfic.
Zach, you know people at EA. Can you please give them episodes so they can make that?
I mean, yeah, we have a pitch for you guys.
Yes. Battlefield 6, we got you guys.
Battlefield 6, the fanfics.
No, and that's the title. Battlefield 6, we got you guys.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna go to EA, it sounds more like a Bad Company type of game than it does a Battlefield.
we could write the whole script on a Mead notebook.
Yes.
I like Lena's idea though, that at the end of the game you pull out, and this is all like a 12-year-old scribbling down on in a live journal or something, like
David Jaffe made the end of it.
That'd be so great.
This is just a bunch of F-bombs and people dying, and
that's it. I'm gonna make this called Drawn to Death.
It's gonna be drawn to death.
I have one question for you guys that I was kind of curious about, because I was watching the trailer today and I noticed that there are just a shit ton of dislikes on this video. And I was doing a little bit of research, and some people are upset about not only the fact that it's not historically accurate, but also the fact that there is a lot of people were complaining that it felt like forced like equality or forced diversity with the woman in the trailer. Yeah. And one video I watched was this guy just going ape shit about this, talking about how there's women everywhere. And I rewatched the video, and it's just that one chick, right? Like, I just want to make sure it's just one chick, It's just, I mean, I get where you're coming from. It's not historically accurate, but like, he was like, yeah, chicks were flying everywhere and doing all sorts of, and it just, they threw in a black guy for diversity, and I was just like, dude, like, whoa, don't make this more serious than it needs to be. It's just a fucking video game. Like, I get it, but I want to get your guys' perspective. Is that why the video was so disliked? Like, what's going on?
I don't know, but it's just I had this image of my head of like women just like flying everywhere, and like rockets are going off, and like their masks come off, and they're all chicks, or I don't know. That is fucking ridiculous. I mean, they got one female.
I know, right? I was surprised when he said that. I was like, but wait a minute, it was just that one chick, that red-haired chick. Like, what the fuck,
dare
man?
you put a woman in that game?
He's like, all these SJWs need a da-da-da, and I was like, with the what? Like, I mean, I want to be neutral, and I want to be aware of what's happening. This does seem like they just threw her in there because she has girl parts to a little, like a little bit of an extent. Like, what do you guys think?
I support your want to be neutral, but I'll counterpoint that and say fuck that guy. Like, and I don't, just that attitude. Like, I don't understand it, and I don't. If seeing a woman bothers you that much, like, it's the same reaction people had to The Last Jedi, and you're just trying to force women down our throats for equality and blah blah. Dude, if it bothers you that much, just walk off a bridge. Just end it. Like,
or just don't watch the movie or don't buy the game. Like, I don't know, man. I really am trying to be neutral here. Like, I really want to see both sides.
Don't be neutral. This is stupid.
I'm not. I will not. I will not validate those opinions. I will not. This is the mistake of like, well, you have to hear both sides. No, I don't. Fuck that guy. Like, it's like if you're going to waste all your time ranting and raving about the fact that a woman is on your screen, bro, go do something else with your time.
And that's another thing. Like, he that's all he really complained about. He was complaining about why the game was shitty and why it was going to be an awful game, and he was making all these snap judgments. Like, I'm not going to buy this game. It's going to be an awful fucking game. And I was just like, dude, like, if this is a trailer, like, calm down. Like, Jesus, who's emotional? Like, the women or you?
Here's my take on this. I went and saw the movie Black Panther, right? Mm-hmm. And I go in and I expect a fucking movie about Black Panther. Mm-hmm. I sat through that movie and I was more excited about the two female side characters in that movie than I was fucking Black Panther. Like, why can't that be the situation here? Why can't there be a cool female character or a female character who's powerful? Like, why does that female in there have to feel like she was forced? Like, why there's not situations where females fought in World War II? I highly doubt there wasn't. Like, this doesn't make sense to me.
That was one of his arguments too. He's like, you didn't see women on the battlefield, fighting. And I was like, dude, what about her hand? Like,
guess what? You saw nothing. You were not alive during that.
You're like 25 years old and you're behind a computer screen.
So mad.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what YouTube is. YouTube is hot takes. Like, you see a video, you make a reaction video, and if you create enough buzz or you talk enough crap, you're gonna get like a whole bunch of controversy, and maybe you'll go viral, maybe you'll get some money out of it. And that's all what these idiots are doing, is they're just coming up with this hot take that's not a popular opinion, and hoping that they're gonna get some followers or rile up something that and be in the middle of it. They want their 5 minutes of fame, and that's
kind of what it felt like. It seemed like his hate was coming from such a genuine place that I was like, man, there's still people out there like this. Like, I want to be aware of like the idea or the concept of forced diversity, but it didn't feel like a big deal. Like, so there's a chick in the game. Like, it's not a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really did want to hear how you guys felt about it, though. And it's nice to hear, especially that Black Panther story, because, man, what was her name? The bald chick. She is, like, my hero. I love her.
I want a spin-off movie with her. Like, she's the best part of the goddamn movie.
And it's also nice to hear that, like, you're a typical white guy, and you're excited to see things like that, too. Like, I'm excited to see things like that because the more the merrier. You know what I mean? Like, the more types of people I see, whether fictional character or that are like me. You know what I mean? It's nice to see chicks in games. It's nice to see cool chicks in movies. It's just cool to see. So it's also nice to hear from a male perspective that those things are well received as well. I always wondered if in the back of your guys' mind you were just like, ugh, this again, like, they're throwing a chick in because of fight scenes and it's what's hip and cool right now. Like, nah, man, I just want to see a chick be a badass. Like, that's awesome. I want to see anybody be a badass.
When I play games and I can choose like a gender, I usually choose female in games.
That's dope. I choose male sometimes.
Yeah, because to me, it's I want something different. Like I'm just tired of playing macho dudes in games. Like, give me a cool looking female that goes and kicks ass. Like that's I think that's pretty cool. That's what I want in my game.
Is it just for like a fun change of pace? Just to give some sort of and that's kind of how I feel too. Like not where there's a game where there's only a selectable male character, I'm not miffed about it, not in the slightest. But when I see a female character accessible, I'm like, sweet, all right, this is dope. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not like we played God of War recently, and that's the most macho dude game you can play, but yeah, that's fun, but I mean, I feel like that's the majority of video games. Why can't we have like some cool chicks sometimes fighting? A lot of times I pick females.
Just some sprinkles on the top of the gaming industry. I just want some sprinkles, and they're delicious sprinkles. Can I have some more sprinkles, please?
Yeah. All right. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and go on to our weekly consultation. Zach, since you weren't here last week, man, I'm sure you got a lot to talk about, and it looks like you got a lot to talk about according to this format. So I'm going to throw it your way first, man. Go at it. Tell us what you've been playing.
You guys, okay. If people have been listening to me for a while, I'm about to make embarrassing statements.
Like, hold on. Before you start, I just have to tell you, like, watching this video feed of you and it getting progressively darker in the background is hilarious. You look just like a floating head right now. Like you got your black shirt on and it's all black behind you. You're just floating.
That's dope. That's so appropriately ominous.
But anyway, continue.
Yeah, so if you've been listening to me for a while, what I'm about to say is going to be kind of sad. Guys, Detective Pikachu is like a really good game. Like for realsies, like it's a real good game.
For realsies.
Get off my porch. I'm taking the rocker. It's mine.
What is this game, Pikachu of detectives?
Okay, so there actually is a demo. It's on the 3DS. It's on the 3DS, and there is a demo if you would like to play that's essentially the first big mystery part of it. But it's kind of not Professor Layton, Phoenix Wright, a little Phoenix Wright-ish. And you're a kid, and for some reason you can hear this Pikachu who kind of sounds like a kind of gruff Jersey detective for some reason, which is hilarious. Like, it's just funny.
So he wasn't voiced by Danny DeVito like people wanted?
No, but it kind of sounds like it. Like, you can see why people said that. And you're trying to solve mysteries together. You're looking for your dad. Your dad disappeared. There's a connection with this Pikachu, but you're not very aware of it. You can understand the Pikachu. Pikachu can talk to you. No one else can understand it. And people think you're crazy because you're talking to this Pikachu all the time. But you're in a city with the regular Pokemon world. Like, there's other Pokemon running around and mysteries are happening. Like, the first one is two Apoms steal this little girl's necklace, and you're looking for them and try to get the necklace back. Very simple enough. And you kind of end up chasing them all through the town. You have to interview people to get clues, to get, you draw out a map, and the map, you fill in the clues on the map, and then one by one, you narrow down your options until you solve it. Fair enough. It's just an addictive little gameplay loop, though. And it's clever. I think the writing is really good. It's one of those things, like, if you like the Pokemon cartoons at all, it's absolutely worth your time to play. Like, it's very well written. It's really fun. The pace is really good. It's not so hard. Like, some of those later Phoenix Wright games make you just pound your head into the wall because there's like that one little thing that you're missing and never.
It's like a math problem.
Until you get through the walkthrough and you're like, oh, okay, that was it. But so if you like the old Phoenix Wright games, it's a good update of that formula. It actually really made me want a good modern Phoenix Wright game, is what it did. But it's super solid. It's really good. Download the demo. Lena, you download the demo. You'll like it.
I don't know, man. I don't feel like maybe if they dumb it down for my dumb ass, but I wasn't very good at those games.
Elena needs more
$3.99.
millennial stuff in that game. That's the order seller. She needs more
But,
avocados and you know
right.
stuff like that.
Well, my point is, it's free 99. Just download it.
That's a good point.
Check it out.
That's a
You
good
know?
point.
You're
I like
actually
$3.99
selling
games.
You're selling me on this more than anything. Like, this sounds
it's
kind of up my alley.
Try the demo. It's shockingly really good, and it's one of those things. I totally accept any and all snarky remarks
Yes.
to me saying that.
Ooh, they come in. They come in, boy. They come in.
I know, but it's actually really good. I highly recommend trying it. The other game I played, so when when you get invited to a party, right? And
No.
you things happen, you show up super late. Well, Elena, of parties. They're a thing that exists. And things happen, you show up super late, and you get there, like, people with the little kids have already left. Like, people are way drunk. Shannon's wrapped around a bush in the backyard.
You beat me to it, dude. I was like, I'm usually down.
Yeah, like, you are really late to this party. That is me with Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I am way late to that party. And goddamn, that game is really good, you guys. Like, and I will fully accept responsibility for this. Like, Josh has been telling me for a year to just play that damn game. He's like, you will like that game. You like XCOM. You like these games. Just play that game. You'll like that game. And I have been fighting it. And I think part of it is just because my anti-Nintendo stance as of late. I just I was never been a fan of Rabbids. Like that Rayman world I've never really been a big fan of. Though my kid, was it Rayman Legacy? Is that the one that just went on PS Plus, I think? Yeah. I downloaded that one to play on the PS4, and my kid loves just watching it because it looks like a damn cartoon. It's really stellar to play. Anyway, finally found a copy for it was on sale for $29.99. I'm like, okay, great. I'll just grab it because I need something to play on my Switch. It's been sitting there just gathering dust. And I sat down, fired it up, and it was one of those games where I got through the tutorial levels and blinked, and it was 4 hours later. And I was still playing and just into it. And you give Mario some guns and give him an upgrade system, and apparently that's all I needed. I don't know. Apparently that's literally the only thing I needed was guns and an upgrade tree. And I'm like, okay, great, I'm there. We're working. Yeah, man. I think the level balance is really, really good. I mean, everyone has been right. It's absolutely my first XCOM is that game. That is what that game is. But it's balanced really well. The level exploration is really, really good. The little secrets you'll find, the bonus weapons you'll find along the way. I like how it gives you soundtrack options that you can find to upgrade. It's just really clever. The whole thing is just super clever. The way the Rabbids turned into the tunnels and the sound effects when you use them and all it's really funny. That's the other thing I think I didn't see that coming is that game is actually really funny. There's a lot of humor that it just gets left unsaid as you're passing through the world. Things that are happening in the background, things that characters do when you shoot them or react. It's just it's amazing that a company that isn't Nintendo handled this so well because it feels like a first-party Nintendo game. That level, it has that level of polish. It has that level of care to the graphic design, that the fidelity of the controls. Everything about it feels first-party, and the fact that it isn't is amazing. I mean, I'm pretty much through the first world at this point, and I've been playing it for about a day. So that tells you something. It's literally every free moment I've had in the last 24 hours has been playing this game.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we play video games. That entire rant right there, in my opinion, is why we play video games. The story you were telling, like the idea of losing 4 hours to a game, like the last time that happened to me, it's just like you really treasure those moments as a gamer because for me personally, they're so infrequent and so few and far between nowadays, especially as I get older and I become more critical and jaded. And yeah. So hearing that, especially from you, Zach, is probably my good news for the day. So I might have to skip that section of the podcast, but that's awesome, man. I'm glad you finally found something. So maybe you can chill out.
Well, no, it's definitely it's definitely been nice. Cause honestly, up until this time, the game I put the most time into on my Switch has been SteamWorld Dig 2, which is good, and I like that game a lot. But it also isn't the reason I own a Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? And to have something that is very substantial, and then we just found out this week is getting a Donkey Kong DLC pack. Which
that
sounds
DLC looks unreal. Like just the way that it's all integrated, and it's. I'm excited to get back into that game again.
The funny part for me is the fact that it's Donkey Kong doesn't matter at all. It's just it seems like okay, this is going to be a fun, mechanics that they're adding to it, and that for me is a really big part of this type of game is looking at it big map wise and seeing, okay, the point is to kill everyone here and get over there, and the tools that are available to you to do that, where it's, you can slide into someone, which gives you a move boost, and then you can have a character jump off another character to vault you further across the map, and then there's pipes that are accessible within the levels that you can roll through and roll through and roll through, and then jump and then boost and then slide, and you can start running all these things together, and the thing I always default to is Portal. That moment in like a Portal 2 level where it clicks and you figured it all out and you feel like the smartest human being on earth. This gives you that, where you figured out how to beat a level out in under the recommended amount of moves to get the perfect score for it, and you feel just brilliant because you did it, and it's really cool. It's just really neat.
All right,
so those have been my two big ones. But
cool, man. It took a Nintendo game that wasn't made by Nintendo to make you turn around on Nintendo.
It took Ubisoft making a Nintendo game.
Yeah,
and by the way, man, give me more Nintendo games made by big third parties. Like, I want more of that now. Like, let someone else try to access the secret sauce a little bit,
It's been a long time coming, man. Keep praying. Yeah. I'll be right there with you.
Namco Bandai's making Metroid Prime 4, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bandai Namco. I think they switched it. It used to be Namco Bandai, I thought, but it doesn't matter.
They're taking turns.
Yeah. This quarter will be the Namco Bandai. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm glad you're digging that game, man. I've been trying to get you to buy it. I picked it up at launch, and I mean, it came out around the big video game fall push, and I picked it up and I put like maybe an hour into it, and I really enjoyed what I played of it, and then I got sidetracked on something else, and I just never got back to it. So I kind of feel like popping this in and playing it alongside you just so we can both talk about it. But
you should. It's rad. Yeah,
I might put Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze down for a bit and start playing that one, and then never return to Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Rabbid Luigi's my boy. He's my favorite character. I love how he wears his hat, his long tee. It's great.
Princess Peach wrecks face in that game. Like later on, oh man, just so good. But
I love how Rabbid Luigi's like hip hop Luigi. Like he's just so gangster. He's so great.
Does he cock his little gun to the side?
No, he's got like this like kind of yo-yo looking thing that burns people. But like, it's awesome. He'll just like, and see, that's the thing is you'll get these moves where you'll end up right next to the enemy, and you're going for the death blow, right? And it's just Mario just straight up like blasting fools in the face, just like blah, 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 like what are you doing, Mario? You're just like capping fools. It's great. It's just great.
Awesome.
It makes me laugh every single time. Like,
Nice.
Good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. So one thing I noticed that most of us have played, I'm not sure if Elena has played it or not, but that's the OnRush demo. So OnRush is a game, it's not even I thought it was a racing game, but it's not really a racing game. This is by Codemasters, and this is kind of their new game that they got coming out this year, and they dropped the beta on the consoles, and this is a really interesting game because it sort of plays out like a racing game, like you're on a track and you're driving around, but you're not actually racing, you're battling each other in teams. And this is made by the same team that made the MotorStorm games, and they also made Drive Club. So
and it feels like the MotorStorm games. It really does.
Very arcadey, kind of like a little bit of Twisted Metal with a little bit of Burnout thrown in there is what it feels like. But you're on a team with other cars competing with other teams of cars, and you're just trying to smash the shit out of each other, more or less. And there's also little like bot cars in there as well. It kind of reminds me of Titanfall, how they throw the little bots in there that you can kind of farm, you know. They kind of throw those cards in there too.
I didn't really think about that, but you're right. It does kind of how the infantry work in Titanfall. Yeah.
So you're just smashing the hell out of each other while you're racing around in this arcadey kind of feel, and you're hitting ramps and doing tricks like it's SSX and stuff. I was actually having a lot of fun with this game, but I'm not quite sure where the depth is in it, because if this is all you do, I'm not sure if this would hold my attention for very long. You know, like it'd be like I play this for a couple hours and I got my fill. How did you guys feel about this?
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It was interesting. It was fun. It was fast paced. I didn't like the physics relating to hitting objects like trees. Like even if you glanced up on a tree, like you wrecked, like you were donezo.
Totally.
And that was kind of frustrating. But smashing the other cars and boosting off of a ramp and just wrecking somebody else's day as you were landing on top of them. I mean, that was fun. But like you're saying, as far as longevity goes, I don't know if this would hold my attention for more than a couple hours before I wanted to do something else. So, good on them for coming out with something that was original. I just don't know if it's going to have the legs. But I mean, then again, look at like a game, Rocket League. There's not really much to that game either, in my opinion. But it has a huge following. I mean, maybe this will have the same thing.
I think that's what's going to happen, man. When I was watching this, because I haven't played the demo, but I did watch the trailer, and I was thinking, it looks like 1980s Twisted Metal vomit. Like it's just so colorful and over the top and intense, and it's really something else, man. Like, one thing that I noticed was, I definitely related it a lot to Rocket League. This is something my nephew and my dad are just going to love playing together. I know it. I can feel it. And a lot of Rocket League players are really going to enjoy playing this game. So I don't think it's my cup of tea, but it does have some SSX vibes that I'm pretty into. I would like to get a little nostalgic playing this game.
I think this game's really going to come down to what modes are in, because the one that's in the demo or that was in the beta was essentially just chase two teams chasing each other, and you're trying to outscore the other one by blowing up other cars, and then you respawn and blow up other cars, and then you respawn, and it's like and it was fun, but it got to a point where I was like, and now what? So what do we do now? Like, I don't understand. Yeah. And I think if they can come up with, like a Rocket League style scoring thing or anything like that, where it's making more of a sport other than just drive around and try to blow people up. Because for me, it just got kind of rope pretty fast. Mm-hmm. Where I like I'm agreeing with you, Josh. That it was like, yeah, that was a fun hour. So now what? And yeah. So.
Well, you get to try as a motorcycle.
Yeah, and
I was interested in that for
even
sure.
easier when you're the motorcycle.
Dang it.
Yeah, like I couldn't take anyone down as a motorcycle, and then I changed to like some tank looking Humvee thing, and I was just kicking ass. So
yeah, it just kind of strikes me as like maybe it's like a roller derby kind of aesthetic where like you have blockers and jammers, and like you have like people like kind of up in front, like maybe
somebody's trying to get the snitch.
That's maybe you get like a point for every lap that you run, as a team, and whereas if you don't get taken down, you get like a point for your team. So like the motorcycles are the ones that are going to be up in front, and then you got like the tanks and like the other people who are blocking for them or something. I mean, I could see the strategy in it. I could see something like that, maybe having a little bit more longevity to it. But yeah, for the most part, like everything else was just kind of like, man, there's not much meat on this bone.
Yeah, you saying that, I didn't even think of the game that way, of like playing as like a team like that, even though it's a team-based game. I was just thinking of smashing shit. I mean, that
two very different types of
yeah. So how many people can I destroy is kind of what was in my head the whole time I was playing.
I think that's what they want you to want. So I felt like this game was just Rocket League without the nets. Like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, so you smash into shit, which is my favorite part of Rocket League. Like if you got rid of the nets in Rocket League and just let me smash stuff, I'd be pretty happy. So this might be the game for me. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm not sure when that game's dropping. I know it's not too long from now, but we'll see how that goes. I definitely am kind of interested in seeing what the full version will be like, but I don't know. We'll find out. This week, the State of Decay 2 came out on Xbox One, like the really only exclusive that's came out recently other than Sea of Thieves. And it is on Game Pass, so if anyone's interested, you can sub the Game Pass and check the game out. The game is only $30, so it is like a budget-titled game. It's not super expensive. But I dabbled in the first one. I bought it on PC when it came out on PC, and for some reason, the games didn't run very well. And I'm not sure if it's because it was just poorly optimized or there was something wrong with my PC. I don't know, but I didn't put a lot of time into it for that reason and just never returned to it. So I figured since this is the sequel and it's supposed to be more, streamlined and polished and stuff like that, figured I would give this a shot. So I didn't buy it. I just got Game Pass and figured I'd give it a shot. I put a couple hours into it, and the game, it's hard to have an opinion on this game. Because first and foremost, when you look at it, looking out from the outside in, it looks just like another zombie game. Just a zombie action game that are a dime a dozen right now, and that wasn't super appealing to me. But actually, State of Decay 2 is a sim. It's a survival sim. So the whole point of the game is to go out in this open world, find a place to hunker down in and fortify it, and get new people, find new survivors, bring them into your community, and start building, start gathering resources and building departments into your home that can save lives and grow crops and food and all this stuff. It's very much a simulator, and the game is, it seems like on paper this game would be right up my alley because I usually like stuff like this, and I was excited to check it out for that reason. But the trappings of a hack and slash zombie game is still in there, and it's very repetitive from what I've seen so far. So a lot of the beginning of the game, you start off picking a character, and you have different characters that you can choose from in different scenarios. And this game seems like it's very replayable, so you can kind of start over from scratch and choose a different scenario and go a different path and have a different experience. But I picked the characters, which are the two lovers who met during the zombie apocalypse, that were like the unlikely couple, but love blossomed in the apocalypse or whatever. That was kind of what these characters were, and that scenario seems more interesting to me than the other ones that they offered. So I picked those characters, and you start off just you end up with your girlfriend in some abandoned base, and zombies come after you, and it's like a tutorial of how to loot things and stuff like that. And then you meet up with this doctor, and your girlfriend gets bitten, and then you go out into the open world, and then you pick a homestead to build up and start gathering resources and food, and building up all this stuff. And it gets very strategy kind of RTS like in a way. But you're running around in third person as these characters, and you can swap the characters on the fly, and you can find new survivors and entice them to come to your community and stuff. But the most of the time that I've spent with the game was just me running around the open world, beating up very dumb zombies with terrible AI, and just doing the same thing over again, just going into a building I haven't been to before, scavenging for materials. You can't hold many items at all. You can equip backpacks that let you hold more items. But for the most part, you fill all that stuff up so quick that you're running back and forth constantly to unload the stuff and then go get more, unload the stuff. And I was doing that stuff more than anything. And it was getting to the point where I was just getting kind of bored with it. And I had new missions that were popping up, like one of them that they wanted me to start building, adding on additions to the house that would help save lives and stuff. And in order for me to make that happen, I just had to go through the daily grind of just going through some place I haven't been to, hacking up zombies on the way, collecting crap, bringing it back, starting building something and going back and collecting more crap, beating up some more zombies, coming back. And it was just getting monotonous to me. The game is very buggy too. There's a bug where the HUD, like everything on the HUD, will just start flashing on the screen everywhere, like wildly, uncontrollably, and there was no way I could stop it, and that was really weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, there was doors that were open that I couldn't go through. Like it was detecting that the door was shut, even though it was open, but yet it wouldn't prompt me to open the already open door, and I couldn't go through it. There was times when I was using the melee attacks on zombies and they weren't registering and stuff like that. So it feels like the game is quite unpolished and it needed a little more time in the oven. But my biggest complaint with it is it just feels very repetitive, and the grind to get the things you need to get to the fun bits of like improving your base and stuff like that and finding more people. It just wasn't enjoyable to carry me through more of the game. I think that if this is something that sounds interesting to you, sort of this zombie survival sim game, I think that it's very much worth checking out. The game's cheap. You can get it on Game Pass for $10. So give it a shot, because the grinding part that I didn't like may not bother most of you out there that are listening that this may interest. So I still think you should try it. But at the same time, like, I'm not giving up on it yet. I'm going to dabble around in it some more until Dark Souls Remastered comes out this weekend, and I'm going balls deep back into that game. But but for right now,
very graphic. Thank you.
Yes. So, but right now, I it's like there's a small part of me that wants to kind of continue to play it a little bit, but I know that I'm going to drop this game like a bad habit as soon as I have something else that piques my interest. So as of right now,
bad habit, which is Dark Souls.
It is.
Oh shoot!
So
that's totally your prerogative. We all have our drug of choice.
Yep.
It sounds to me a little like zombie Animal Crossing. Like,
yeah, but you're not interacting with people as much as Animal Crossing. It's like I very rarely run into other survivors and stuff like that. It's just very simple. There's a lot of micromanaging, gathering resources, building, making sure people are fed, all that stuff. Like, if you like all of that shit, but you also like constantly running into buildings and collecting items and unloading them and repeat, more and more and more again, then, then once you get to those more sim bits, you might be cool. But for me, that the gameplay that was surrounding the simulation stuff wasn't fun.
There's also the added caveat that if your character dies, they're gone for good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now you can switch other characters and stuff too, but I'm not sure if the one that you started with, if they die, if it's game over, and you just pick another character. Like, I'm not
pick another. Sure. Well, I played the first one, and if it's anything like the first one, when your character dies, you just pick another one.
Yeah, this game I've heard is very similar to the first one. They say it's more polished, but from when I've played this game, it's not polished. But yeah, so maybe I'll go back to the first one. I mean, maybe that was back when I had a not as good video card. Maybe it'll run better for me now. Maybe I'll like the first one more. I don't know. But this seems like a game that I would enjoy, but for some reason it's just not catching me. But we'll see how it goes. I'll dabble in it a little bit more and see if it finally grips me. But as of right now, nah, nothing.
In the meantime, they can just make zombie Animal Crossing, and I'll buy that instead. Yeah, hell yeah. Come out for Halloween, man.
Yeah, just make Animal Crossing. Just give me that. I'd be happier with that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for E3. All right, Elena, what you been playing?
No Kuni II, and a lot of Overwatch, because there is yet another patch and just Overwatch, man.
Did you get any new skins?
Yeah, they over Blizzard's so nice to us, man. They gave everybody a free legendary loot box. So yeah, I got a Sim skin. So I'm yay. Sim is like one of the most hated heroes right now. So it was almost like a slap in the face. Her skin's cute, but like I'm not gonna use it. So I'm just gonna grind until I get what I want to get. And if I don't get, then I'm not messing with loot boxes because I don't really like that. I was happy to hear the more recent games are just dropping that whole loot box thing because it's mad frustrating. And the more aware I am of it in the community, the more frustrating it is, especially for Overwatch, because they're usually so, I don't know, I perceive them as like giving, and I hold them in high regard. So, you know, they're not trying to force the loot boxes down our throat, but the more aware, the more angry I get. And it's just like, I'm not giving you my money, you bastards, you know?
Yeah.
I just wish microtransactions would just go away forever, but that's another rant for another day.
That's the nature of the industry right now, unfortunately.
Too true, man. It's not a pretty thing, but it is what it is. So I'll play games like Ni no Kuni 2, where there are no microtransactions and I'm not being haggled into or, you know, hassled into buying something that I don't want to buy. But yeah, Ni no Kuni 2 is just a lot more fun than I was giving it credit for a couple of podcasts ago. So nom nom, me eat my words. It's a fun game. It's good.
What's changed for you?
So a lot more game mechanics have been added. I've been able to participate in skirmishes in the world map, which isn't, I keep wanting to say it's like Advance Wars, but it's not. It's not turn-based. It's in real time, but I still get Advance Wars vibe when I play because it's all war and fighting and all that shit, you know? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I hit one of those sections, and it was very easy. It kind of reminded me of Advance Wars mixed with Dynasty Warriors.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, that paints it.
Taking out all the enemies, and you know, yeah. So, but it was fun, but it was really, really easy. I didn't really feel like there was much strategy or anything. It's just run through everything until they're dead.
So that's Ni no Kuni, and that's my biggest qualm right now with Ni no Kuni is it's just too easy. And one way, my piece of advice to those who think how I think, which is the game's too easy, just turn off automatic weapon switching mode, turn it to manual. It does make the game a good bit more difficult, but it's still very easy, especially if you're like me and you grind a lot. My advice would just be don't grind much, just power through the game and turn weapon switching on to manual, because having it on automatic just basically makes you OP as fuck all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you want to rush through the game, but I don't want to rush through this game like I thought I wanted to initially. With the creation or with the accessibility of, I can basically build my kingdom now, it makes side quests not boring, and it makes them a lot more interesting because every side quest I do recruits the person who had me who sent me on said side quest. They will join my kingdom. And they can do individual things, and I can make my kingdom great, and you know, have them do all sorts of stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It's added a lot of depth, and the combat is obviously what's keeping me coming back because it's fun and it's, you know, one thing is the character AI. I do have my complaints about this game, but it's definitely fun for me to sink my time into, and it's one of those games where recently I've wanted to play it. I've been at work and I've been like, oh man, I can't wait to get home to play Ni no Kuni 2. And I've been playing more games for the podcast. Thank you guys for that. But it's nice to have games where I'm legitimately excited to play, not just, oh, it's part of my daily routine, cough Overwatch, and you just go home and do it and then go to bed. You know, like I think about Ni no Kuni while I'm, you know, buying groceries, and I think about Ni no Kuni obviously while I'm at work and just want to go home. So when I'm playing it, it's like a really rewarding experience, and there's a lot that I like about it. But why is the text so small? Like why is God of War with the tiny text boxes, and in skirmishes in particular for Ni no Kuni 2, why so small? I have tiny old people eyes. Like I need bigger text, or at least the option to select bigger text, please. Like I basically, I wish I could show you guys my setup, but I have to move my television so I can sit close enough to read the text during certain parts of the games. There's no way to make it bigger, at least as far as I know. And I'm just like, what is this? I mean, I don't understand. It's the worst, man. I feel like an old person ranting about that, but like, Josh, have you ran into that problem where the text is just too tiny in Ni no Kuni? Like,
No, I haven't had the problem. I mean, I'm playing it in 4K, but it seems like that would make it worse. in that situation, but I don't know why more games don't have text size
I'm
options.
so old, man. I like that more games nowadays have colorblind options. But yeah, that the ability to enlarge text would be really useful for me, because otherwise I'm just sitting a ridiculous like closeness to my television, and people will come into my room and they'll be like, Elena, are you okay? And I was like, I really like this game, I promise. Don't ask.
I
But
like
other
how
than that, just,
I like how the camera just randomly panned to Zach, and it looks like he's asleep right now.
that boy on Twitter. He on Twitter.
He's tweeting.
I'm just not all that No Kuni.
Oh man, I really wish they just Ni no Kuni forever. Ni no Kuni. But yeah, that's about it for me, man. What about you guys?
Yeah, Shannon, what you got?
Nothing much, dude. I'm waiting for Detroit to come out this week. Other than that, just trying to fight the boredom, I went and downloaded Brawlhala for the PlayStation 4. And it's kind of like a Super Smash Brothers knockoff for somebody who wants that fix but doesn't want to pay for the game. It was a freemium, one of those like freemium games, and it's exactly that. You go up there and you pick your character, and you start off with maybe like 5 characters you can pick. They have a weapon of choice that gets dropped at random intervals throughout the match, and you can pick them up and you can try to knock the other person off of the ledge, and that's pretty much how it goes. It's very grindy, and it takes a long time to get the good characters and the good weapons. So when you get on there, since the game's been out for a while, you get hammered pretty fast. So I put in a couple rounds there and decided I'll probably just wait for Super Smash Brothers 4 to come out for the Switch, and that way I actually can start on a level playing ground with everybody else, and go from there. Other than that, I've been playing on my iPhone. I've been playing Disney's Battle Mode, which is kind of like a brainless 5-character like battle simulator. So you get your beloved Disney characters, and you arrange them in a line, and you send them against enemies, and you just watch them decimate things, or you watch yourself get decimated, and then you do your dailies, and then you put the phone down. So that's what I've been basically doing.
So are you talking about like going to war with Bambi and shit like that?
I think, let me see, who do I have right now in my starting lineup?
Please say yes.
No. I have let me see, I have the coyote from what was that one? Zootopia. I got Sully and Mike from Toy Story.
Nice.
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Sorry. And then I have who else do I have? Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph, and the Elastigirl from The Incredibles. But as far as people that you can unlock, I've seen Buzz Lightyear and Woody and a couple. It's mainly, I guess it would be mainly Pixar movies that I've seen as far as people on the roster. But it's just something to kill time with until something comes along that requires my attention that I can play and enjoy.
You do a lot more mobile gaming than I thought. Like when I first met you, you didn't seem like a mobile gamer to me. I'm impressed and surprised.
It takes a lot to really kind of get my attention. And to be honest, the Portal Bridge Builder was really what got me back into the iOS gaming situation. The Friday the 13th game. Yeah, the Friday the 13th game was pretty fun. But yeah, Marvel Strike Force and the Disney game have pretty much consumed most of my free time. Most of my poop time.
I pretty much hate cell phone games, but I did grab a Super Monkey Ball, like the Sakura edition that came out. I like Super Monkey Ball. I think it's a port of Super Monkey Ball 2 from the GameCube.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And it uses the accelerometer thing in your iPad or your phone, and you use that to lean and collect your bananas and get to the end. It's like very Marble Madness kind of feeling to it. Yeah, that's out there now. That you can pay $1.99 to have the ads taken out, which is I highly recommend because that's cheap. And the ads, like every time you make a move, like an ad kicks in, and they're like at least 30 seconds each, and it's annoying. Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually playing something on my phone for once.
That's
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is something you definitely do while you're either waiting at the DMV or taking a hot spicy poo, or when you're busy, you can't get to, I want to be next to my PS4 at all times, but I just can't, and I need something to hold me over until I get home to my PS4.
Yeah.
Especially right now. Oh my god.
I know I'm kind of jealous of Zach because I really want to play my Mario Rabbids game again, but I've done so much in that game that there's nothing for me to do until the DLC comes out.
Oh wow.
So,
it sounds like you and Xenoblade Chronicles, right? You played that game to... Wait, no, you haven't, right?
That one you played way too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should look at how many hours I put into Mario plus Rabbids, because honestly, up until Xenoblade, that was probably my most played game on the Switch.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you're the type of gamer who gets his money's worth for certain games. I know people who will play for a couple hours and set it down, and you don't strike me as that type of person, because every game you've played, you're like, yeah, I've clocked in like a shit ton. I'm like, god damn, man, like that's impressive. So many hours. How many hours do you have?
I don't know. I have to look. I'll put it up on Twitter.
Oh, just the stats. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put my gaming stats up on Twitter. I don't want people roasting me.
Oh,
like, Elena, you spent how many hours playing this mobile game? How many hours?
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. On Borderlands 2 and Destiny and all those games like that, I did huge time sinks. Like, just Zach would even tell me, like, stop playing that game. You're just spending too much time on it. But yeah, I find that game I like, and then I'll dive into it pretty hard. Like, if Detroit doesn't really scratch that itch, I don't really see any game coming up on the horizon anytime soon that I really want to buy. So I might go into Horizon Zero Dawn, because I never beat it. So I might just start that one over and just go through it.
I should probably play that game. I really
Yeah.
should. It's just
Good.
it's one of the few games that I have that's just sitting on. I don't own many video games, but that game is just sitting on the shelf. I'm really sorry.
I would love to be able to play that game again.
Just try.
No, Shannon, there is a game called Dark Souls Remastered coming out.
I know. I have Bloodborne sitting on my desktop on my PlayStation 4 too, that I haven't even touched yet because I'm afraid to.
Josh, you filthy drug peddler, you. That is underhanded. Just stick that hypodermic needle right in him, man. Just right in there.
Yep. All right. Well, let's close it out this week. We've been running for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Let's get into our week in review. Shannon, I'm going to throw it back at you, man. What's been going on this week?
I'm just gonna make it quick. Like, the one thing that I would really like to say to people or to manufacturers out there is, why don't you pay more attention to the quality of your products and not mass producing the same shit. I had a pair of Levi's Silver Tab 501 jeans. I bought them when I was 19 years old, and I bought them in like a huge waist size because for some reason I was one of those douchebags when I was younger that wore those pants like way lower than they should have been. But throughout the years in me gaining my weight, like they actually fit like regular pants now that I'm a grown ass man. And I would wear them like doing chores around the house. Well, finally after 20 years, they gave out. Like the knees just ripped, and like I needed something new to wear doing my chores around the house. So went out and picked up 2 new pairs of Levi's jeans because they're the ones that have lasted a long time. I had one pair on, I kid you not, for like the second day. I went out to pick up a table that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace, and I was loading it in the back of my truck, and I bent over to pick up the table, and I blew out the whole crotch like in my pants, just using proper lifting technique. Just the whole crotch just disintegrated, like right out in front of this busy ass street where I'm picking up this table from. And, like I use these. I have these boxer shorts that are like they're brightly colored. They're either neon green or neon blue. I like having like brightly colored underwear. And like seriously, I kid you not, it looked like I had an Easter egg hanging out in the middle of my pants, like the brightly colored neon green Easter egg just hanging out right in the middle of the street for everybody to see. And I felt like, it was so embarrassing, but at the same time, it was probably hilarious to whoever was walking by, because like I seriously, like I had to waddle to the truck to like find like some duct tape, so I could duct tape like my pants together.
The person already said you couldn't get a discount on the table.
No, dude.
You didn't have to show them the goods, man.
I was checking to see if it could handle my weight to do that table dancing, but
this is like a bad version of Magic Mike or something.
Yeah, I know. horrible version.
You were
when
hanging dog in the middle of the road, man.
I was brain just out in the middle of everywhere. Like, so I was just like, dude, like it infuriated me. Like $120. So like, and 60 of it's down the drain. So
I was gonna joke that are you sure it's the jeans or is it just the junk, man? Because if you blew out the crotch, is it the jeans or the junk? I don't know what's going on here.
No, like I kid you, I wish like I got the old man jeans, like not even like skinny jean leg, it's not tight on the leg at all. So like,
Sure.
I had plenty of room. So it was just really upsetting to find it. And I can't save them. I took him to a tailor and it wasn't at the seam that they ripped. It was like right above like the seam. So like
they're taking them back, dude.
I would have absolutely insisted for like some sort of refund. Like,
well, that's the problem. Like I put them on and my wife was like, "Oh, you look good in those." I was like, "Great." The receipt went right in the trash, thinking, it's not going to be an issue because these are Levi's. Like they'll last.
I was going to get laid.
Life lesson.
I'm married. I know that doesn't happen on a regular basis. It's fine.
especially with some,
with a newborn staring at you.
I want to see you go back to the store with those things. Excuse me, sir. I'd like to return these jeans because my dog fell out of them.
My crotch is too strong.
Does this look acceptable to you?
Yeah, go in wearing them with everything just hanging out. As you can see, I've got a problem.
Make sure they're white. Or make sure they're yellow so it looks like eggs, just like two like.
Oh man!
Be like, sir, I ordered these script. No, never mind.
Yeah, these look hard boiled.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only thing I really had that happened that I was funny enough to talk about.
So good.
That was a very unfortunate situation for you, sir.
Is that the good or the bad? Because it sounds like both to me.
Oh yeah, air conditioned junk on a hot day was great, but showing everybody that drove by like my underwear situation, that wasn't cool.
Wow.
Showing them those colors, man. You gotta rep those colors.
Letting that freak flag fly.
Or fry with the eggs, man.
Or fry.
Crips and blood. Got the Crips and blood thing going on there.
Yeah.
My gang affiliation is in my pants. All right, Zach, what you got, man?
So I just can't get over how disappointed I am about that Arctic Monkeys album. Like,
yeah, it's shit. It's shit.
Oh man.
I believe I was into track 4 before I realized I wasn't listening to track 1 anymore. Because it's so slow and boring, and one thing just bleeds into another. It's like someone along the way says like, hey, you guys are a really great kick-ass rock band. Why don't you try a slow jazz record? And I don't understand it. Like, it's just, fuck that producer, whoever told them that was a good idea.
I don't know. It was Rick Rubin.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Whoever it was, they did it. They messed up. They done messed up.
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't liked an Arctic Monkeys album since what was it? Humbug, I think was the name of the album.
Well, the best one was the first one, but
yeah. So it's been like their past 2 albums I didn't even care for. I hated Suck It and See, and AM I didn't even really care for either. So
I didn't mind AM. I like AM, but
yeah,
I don't know. It was. It's so disappointing. Like it is such a departure, and it is very bad. And no, sir, I don't like it. That's it.
This is why I don't get too invested in albums, man, because each progressive album, like I had bands that I idealized when I was a kid, and with each progressive album, it's inevitable. Like, you can only make so much good music before you just run out of ideas, man. Like, there's only like a couple of bands or artists out there who can keep it going. You know what I mean? So how long have Arctic Monkeys been around? Like, how many albums have they released? How many times have you experienced this heartbreak?
No one can keep it going. So there's a chart that you can track that is average age of listener and albums released. And as the average age of listener goes up and the albums released goes up, the songs you want to hear go down. And because the songs that were important to you resonate between the time you were 14 years old and the time you were, say, 27.
Sure.
And anything that's recorded after that, you don't care about. and you don't want to hear. And it's probably different because bands change and people grow up and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, so it doesn't really matter who the band is or what they do. At some point, you literally do not care about any new thing they've done, and you could love them. It could be one of your favorite bands of all time, and at some point, you're done with it. Like,
I feel like
just play the 10 songs I like.
I feel like you're talking about me with Pokemon. I went on that rant last week about how like the older I get, the less I give a shit about Pokemon, and that's just exactly the rant you just. That's it. That's how it is. I'm just getting older, and like they keep, you know, plugging away.
Lies. You are so jealous of that shiny Pokemon that Zach got. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you are.
Does anybody else have any shiny Charmanders? Can I have a can I have a shiny Charmander, Zach, please?
I've got like 4 of them, dude. If they had training,
you bitch! I don't want to talk anymore. Check our Twitter for the rage. Okay, we got a rage cage going on. Anyway, what's going on now? What's going on, Josh? How was your week?
My week has been okay. I went and saw Deadpool 2. So there's that.
La-di-da. Screw you guys.
Yeah, look at you going to
with our social lives and going to movies and getting out of the house
with your movie ticket. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Deadpool movie. I liked it. It was entertaining, but a lot of humor didn't work for me in that movie. Like, I just didn't laugh as much, and for a movie that relies so much on humor, like, it just didn't make me laugh a whole lot. But I still enjoyed it. I went into the second one kind of expecting the same thing, and the movie is sort of similar in the first one in style. They even repeat some of the same jokes I noticed, but just in a different way. But this movie, like, the writing was just better for me. Like that humor they were trying to nail in the first one, which worked for most people, it just didn't work for me. It did work for me in this one, and I caught myself laughing a lot in this movie, and a lot of the jokes just worked for me this time around. I think Domino was the best addition to the movie. Yes. She was fantastic. Yes. And when I first saw her, and it was like, yeah, her superpower is luck, and I'm like, well, how was that going to be interesting to see on screen? When it happens and then the action sequences kick in, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see now. That's actually a really cool superpower. Yeah. And there were some really great gags in there, and yeah, like Cable was great, even though he was like grizzled, war guy that was kind of one note through the whole thing, but still he was fun to see on screen. And Josh Brolin did really well with him. The movie was just a shit ton of fun, and I just laughed a lot more this time around, and I enjoyed it a lot more. So I get a big thumbs up with Deadpool for me. I'm not going to say it's better than Black Panther or Infinity War, but it's pretty high up there, and I very much enjoyed it, and I recommend checking it out. And Elena, you saw this, right?
I did, and I agree with you. For me personally, the action was on par with the first movie. I liked the second movie more than the first movie because it made me laugh harder. Now, I do have to throw a quick disclaimer out there. I went on a Saturday night with my friends, and I may or may not have had a couple of Jack Daniels or some or other before I went in. So maybe I was laughing extra hard because I was a little bit drunk, but it was funny. It was a good movie, man. Like, I really liked how it didn't take itself. I mean, it's a Deadpool movie, so of course it didn't take itself too seriously, but it was a lot of fun, and I enjoy watching these action films. And I feel like all I've watched this year is Marvel movies, so I guess I'm just that type of like moviegoer nowadays. But it was a fun experience. Everybody was laughing. Everybody was like really into it. And just a quick disclaimer, y'all, like if your baby's gonna cry, please don't bring your baby to the movie theater. The end. Like, it's a Saturday night. I get it, but at the same time, like if your baby's crying, like stop. Like,
you've got no control over that. But the answer is just don't bring a baby to a movie theater.
Just don't bring a baby to a movie theater.
Like a lot of movie theaters, it's the first showing of the day. They kind of let you know that it's the children's showing. It's, if you're there at 10 a.m., I don't feel bad about having my kid there. Like, you should know
valid.
Better, but but if it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, no, my kid should be in bed anyway. Like, what am I doing? Why am I out? So
yeah, but I mean, overall, it was a great movie. So the kid next to me was super cute, but like, man, I wanted to laugh harder. I didn't want to feel so bad for like jolting a child or like scaring. I didn't scare any children, I promise, but I was nervous about it. I mean, maybe with the way I look, I scared him. I don't know. Who knows?
My son's 3.5, and I still haven't taken him to a movie theater.
Oh, you got to take him to a movie, man.
Oh, I will. I just don't feel like he's ready yet. My son is the biggest Toy Story fan. He loves Toy Story to death. The other day I just bought him a Lotso bear that smells like strawberries. So he's all about that right now. But Toy Story 4 is coming out next summer, and I think that's the one that I'll probably take him to first. To test the waters.
Cool. That's cool. That's the movie to do it with, like one of his favorites. That's a good way to start.
I don't know about that, man. Toy Stories get heavy. Like,
no, he loves it. He loves it, and the third one's his favorite. That's the one he watches the most.
Toy Story 3 made me want to kill myself.
But
you need to chill off these Pixar movies. Like, what? I didn't watch it. I have no idea. I heard it was dark, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's intense.
My son also loves Wreck-It Ralph. He watches that movie a lot too. And I know there's a new Wreck-It Ralph movie coming out in November. So maybe if I feel like he's ready, maybe in November I'll take him to see Wreck-It Ralph.
I've taken Jonathan to a few. I took him to Finding Dory and Lego Batman, Cars 3 we saw in the theater. But the secret is be prepared to leave. Like, just, go into it knowing that you could leave at any time. And when you just mentally accept that as truth, it becomes a lot easier when he's like, Dad, I need to go. And you're like, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Because if he's not into it, he will not care. And he'll get up, he'll get run around, he'll want to do other things. And you just got to be like, yeah, let's go. Because making him sit there is going to make everyone miserable. That's the best advice I would give you is when you're dealing with someone under 3 years old is if they feel like going, just go. It makes it better for everyone.
Yeah. There was
with Finding Dory, he saw Piper, which was the short movie before Finding Dory, and they finished the short. It's 5 minutes maybe, and he gets up and he's like, "All right, that was a good movie. Let's go." Oh, and I was like, "No, now the movie starts," and he was like, "Nah, I just saw a movie, man. I'm done." I was like,
he's like, it was a long movie too. Like, come on, I was patient.
And it was funny because I look over at my wife. I'm like, why don't you hang here? We're going to go take a walk. And we came back after the squid scene in Finding Dory. And he loved the rest of it. He was down. But it was funny. Yeah, it was just one of those like, yeah, I'm not going to make you sit here. Let's go do something else and then come back.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah, man. I did take him to the local minor league ballpark down here. Sometimes they'll have movie nights for kids and they'll play a movie on the Jumbotron. You can lay on the baseball field and watch it. And they were playing the Trolls movie there. And we did take him to that. And all these kids were just running around, screaming and yelling and playing on this baseball field. And he laid there the entire time on a blanket and watched Trolls.
That's awesome.
I might get lucky and he might actually do. Now he loves movies. He watches movies all the time. He will sit and not make a fucking peep during a Toy Story movie. But I'm just afraid to spend all the money and then people get mad at me and stuff. So I just haven't felt like he's gotten to that point yet where I'm ready to take him to a movie. But we'll see. Maybe Wreck-It Ralph. Maybe that'll be the one.
You just have to adopt the Anderson way and just be prepared to leave.
See, I'm too big of a movie buff though. Like I want to watch the fucking movie.
And you paid for it. Like
I don't think I can just get up and walk away.
But that's the thing is, for this time, you're taking him to a movie. You're not going to a movie.
Yeah,
you're taking your son to it.
So I feel like I should go see it first. Like I should go see it myself first. And
honestly, you probably should. You probably should anyway, just to make sure it's not traumatizing as fuck. That's some of these movies have some things in them where, we all fell prey to it, but Land Before Time and fucking Never-Ending Story and all these things. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be burned into my consciousness until I'm on my deathbed. Sweet.
I'm different now.
Yeah, you guys remember Legend, the movie with Tom Cruise in it from the 80s? Dude. And it had
Tim Curry as the devil?
Tim Curry Satan in it. Like that movie, I was not expecting that when I saw movies as a kid, but for some reason I loved that movie as a kid and it didn't scare me. But if you watch it now, it's like, man, this movie is fucking weird and it's creepy. And why did this not make me run for the hills when I was a kid? But for some reason I like that movie. So.
Oh, Never-Ending Story with Artax dying in the swamp and freaking the huge Sphinx statues that are burning knights alive in front of you and all this is like, what the hell am I watching?
Did you ever watch,
I'm 6,
Did you ever watch Return to Oz? That movie freaked me out as a kid.
God, yeah, it was a long time ago though.
That was the one with the
yeah.
wheelers and like their heads turned and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally.
And then they had the scene where where Dorothy was walking through the hallway of nothing but jars with heads in them, like talking. And yeah, that movie was whacked out. And it was super whacked out.
Eesh.
Elena, you got anything else?
Besides that, Dallas Fuel, my Overwatch team won today, which is finally, man. Like the only team they've beat recently is the Shanghai Dragons, who haven't won a single game at all.
I was gonna say, like, that win was like the first time that's happened, right?
Well, when else do I post positively about Dallas Fuel on my Twitter, man? Like they're so it's the hashtag is feels bad, man. We just make it feels fuel, man, feels fuel, because the name of the team is Dallas Fuel, and we always feel bad. So I'm excited that hopefully we can take that hashtag and make it into something positive, because they got a new coach from a really affluent team who won Contenders, which is like a baby baby Overwatch league basically, and just having him as the lead coach, I feel like they're really getting what's the phrase, like coming out of the gates running or something like that. They're doing really, really well, so I hope they can keep up this momentum, because I'm so sick of being a Browns fan. I'm so sick of supporting teams that are just not good. I want to see my team win for once.
Then why do people support teams that suck? I'm not a sports fan, so I don't get it. But
so, I support the Browns because my dad supports the Browns, and I'm not personally super invested in the NHL or the NFL. Jesus Christ. Ooh, my God. Okay. But the reason I like Dallas Fuel is partially because at this point, like, nobody else does. I started liking Dallas Fuel in the very beginning because of one of the streamers. And then next thing you know, I liked one of the players who was a streamer. And next thing you know, I liked another player, and I'm even more invested. And then players are bullshit and they're awful people. Like XQC was on Dallas Fuel, and I'm not a huge fan of him. And, it makes things harder. But you just power through it as a supporter. And I just try to keep my head up, and I don't support teams very often because I'm not a big sports goer, but with esports, it's something I've seen myself be really enthusiastic towards, which is surprising. So I figured I'd stick with it until I get bored. But the more Dallas loses, the harder it is to stay invested, because they're really at this point the only team I care about a whole bunch. So they're kind of the reason I tune in at all. So I keep praying they win, because otherwise I might just tune out. But I'm stoked they won, man. I hope they keep winning.
Awesome.
Yeah,
sounds
fingers
good.
Fingers crossed, man.
All right, guys, let's get out of here for the week. So, a couple things before we leave. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at That Pixel Life. You can also follow Zach at Zackle, Z-A-K-Z-A.
Z-A-K-A.
Yeah, it's not even a letter. Z-A-K-A-L. You can follow Shannon at SHMore0317, and you can follow Elena. I'm just fucking everything.
I like that too. That's fine.
Elena. You can follow Elena at Honey Baked Hella. So don't forget to drop us some iTunes reviews, and if you guys want to communicate anything to us, if you want to give us some feedback or anything like that, hit us up on the DMs on Twitter and let us know how you feel. And if you can also spread this show to your friends, your family, everyone, let them listen in and see if they like it. And hopefully they can jump on board each week and listen to the show, since we like making these. They're fun. We like doing this. So other than that, that's all we have for what you got. Something? We got something for we?
I was just going to say, and next week I'm hyped for our E3 guest-tacular prediction show.
Is that next week?
I thought we were doing the 6th, right?
That's next week's the 30th.
You really want this month to be over, don't you?
2 weeks. Dude.
Same.
Well, now that you've already put the cat out of the bag, we do have our E3 predictions episode that we're going to drop on June 7th, and we're going to have a special guest. I'm not going to say who it is yet, because I'm afraid that something may fall through, and we promise he's going to be there and he can't. So we're going to keep it on hold right now, even though he did confirm. And it is someone from the industry, so that should be fun. But we will be there giving our predictions before the week of E3 drops. And so look forward to that. Otherwise, that'll be it for us this week, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Peace.
Bye.